There we are. There I am. Got my I was told earlier today that I look like I'm wearing a gaming headset. But I left my corded headphones upstairs. So, but the audio is clear, even if I look a little nerdy. So,
Nothing wrong with looking
anyway,
nerdy.
that's what I said, right? I mean, gamers make tons of money these days.
That they do. That they do.
The good ones, I should say. Um, what you guys got going on? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just relaxing from the holiday weekend. So
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Same.
it's been
It's
catching up
actually
with the team and kind of poking around, not doing a whole lot of anything today. So relaxing.
nice, man. Is that one of Rob Bailey's shirts? Does he have shirts, or does that come from somewhere else?
It's just a high level shirt.
Oh, that's high level.
Yeah, capture, nurture, close, repeat. Yeah, and it's got the high level
Word.
logo on the back.
That's
And
cool.
then I had the same shirts made just in my company colors. So
Nice, man.
totally stole it from them, but I doubt they care.
Yeah, man. But what comes after the close? That's the question.
Right?
But I feel like there's probably a few steps in between repeat. But it's catchy though. That's the important
Yeah.
thing. I like it.
And that's pretty much
I was
it.
asking
Capture,
because I
nurture,
know.
close. I mean, that's sure you can complicate it more to be more than that, but that's really all it is.
I don't think it would be complicating it to add well, retain isn't sexy, so you wouldn't want to say retain, but I would say delight. Okay. After close, I would say delight and then repeat. You know what I mean? You close them, you delight them. They tell all their friends about you. You blow up, and then you can, if they tell their friends about you, you can skip the capture step next time around. Maybe even the nurture step, just straight to the close, baby. You know what I mean? They do the selling for you.
That's what I do.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Well, I don't know if Zach, I don't know if have met you yet, so it's nice to meet you.
Hi.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
good
had
to meet
met, but I don't remember. I normally remember when someone has my name, so so I don't think what brings you in today? You have any questions or anything we can help you out with?
Yeah, sure. Good to meet you guys. We haven't met yet. I think I would remember if somebody else was sharing the same name. But I have seen you on some of the
Zach's
training
always remember.
videos. Right.
Oh, cool,
So
cool.
yeah. I was wondering about a few things. I've heard there's a rumor of a agency snapshot coming out. Wondering if that is on its way, because I'm still kind of setting up my platform. I made the mistake of installing the small business snapshot into my agency, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. But so before I finish everything, I was looking to just grab like the latest agency snapshot.
Mm-hmm. So you bought just the small business snapshot so far, right?
No, I bought a SaaSpreneur package of some sort. So
Oh,
it
gotcha.
came with
You get on the web? Was it this last webinar, per chance?
uh I'm not sure, it was
Or
like 2 weeks ago. So
got it. Cool,
yeah.
man. Yeah, that's not a problem. You can have the small business sitting in your agency account if you'd like.
Okay.
And we're so there's a snapshot that I think so we have another Zach as well. But Zach K, I call him. But he's on the extended team as well, and he was just telling me earlier that we're planning on sending out the SaaSpreneur snapshot today, I think.
Gotcha.
We have yeah, which is kind of like it's a little similar to our quick start SaaS. Um, but there's we have the SaaSpreneur website in there and some stuff like that. Little lead magnet set up for doing high levels like audit, the like free marketing audit thing that you can do.
Okay.
So that anyways, you should be able to put that straight into the same account, the agency sub account where you already put the small business, and they won't conflict with each other or anything like that. So you
Great.
can, if you want, you can clear out the small business, but you can leave it in there as well. There is some like some other stuff in the small business that you might find helpful even in your agency account as well. So
Yeah. Okay, great. Um, is this also a place where I can ask like more sort of um, maybe workflow questions or like
yeah.
problem solving questions? Like I
Oh yeah,
have
man.
okay, great. Um, I have one client who has a gym, and it's sort of like imagine like a CrossFit gym where she's offering like circuits. So you buy like a package of 10 or 5, coupons, to just do a drop in on a circuit. I'm wondering what's the best way to kind of burn that at the venue, right? At her facility. Like if I'm guessing I need to sort of create like a automation workflow for generating a coupon when someone buys a package.
Um, Let me ask you a few questions just because it
Sure.
affects the architecture a little bit. So the the coupon, uh, would this be would she be okay running a campaign with like one coupon that's the same for everyone? Meaning, is everybody that's coming in for that offer gonna get like, certain dollar amount off or certain percentage off, or are the coupons like different for different people?
Yeah, they're more like, you're spending $45 to do a drop-in class. And it's a way to sell the class before you show up, right?
Very good. Yes. And
Got it.
yes,
Yes.
very good. You as well?
That makes sense. Uh, so probably what you would want to do. So the reason I was asking is because if you're using, let's say, like a certain percentage off for everyone,
Right.
you can set up one coupon code versus needing like a bunch of coupon codes. One coupon code that just runs. You can either have a limited number of runs, like a total number like 100 of those coupon codes available, or you can have you could also do like a time range if you wanted to, like only available till X date or something. But either way, it's same coupon for everyone, so the coupon code is going to be the same.
I say, yeah.
And so yeah, so you just set up one coupon, and then when they use that on checkout, obviously. So like they book, you could have a calendar that is only used like in this instance, for people that have come through like a paid paywall essentially.
Yeah.
Now also, and Charles helped me out here. If you use the service calendar and you have a price on there, they have coupon codes turned on there as well, don't they? Or trying to remember.
Yeah, I believe you can.
I don't think so. I don't think there's coupon codes in calendars yet. There's coupon
Check.
codes everywhere else, but I don't think
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
in calendars yet. Because they
Okay.
did roll it into payment links. Payment links didn't have them. They do have them now. But I don't think they've rolled it out to. In fact, I know they haven't rolled it out because you can't use a payment. You can't use a form with a payment in a calendar. And it's still just the enter your amount, enter your description. That's what you get charged.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's still a very
Oh,
simple UI in the calendar as far as the payments.
you'd probably want to not use a service calendar. Use probably like a class calendar. in this instance, and then you just have it the workflow that sends off the link to book the calendar appointment after the payment has come through on the checkout where the coupon code was used. And that should take care of it, unless I'm missing something. Does that work for your use case?
Imagine it like you're buying a ticket and then you're going to the gym and you're spending the ticket. I think it's kind of like, she wants to be able to pre-sell a drop-in ticket, right? And then I'm not sure how to, like, is it create a QR code and then that QR code is spent, right? Is it, I'm not quite sure how to technically, if it's possible to do it with high level.
There's not like a
There's not an easy way though. Well,
there's nothing like native, right, Charles? I mean,
no. Because he's basically
I would use Eventbrite or something, but
yeah, because you're gonna have to have an actual like check-in process. So basically, you're gonna have to generate a QR code that goes to a trigger link that, in a workflow, there's math operations that go against or add to a custom field. That custom field's going to have to get checked.
Right.
I mean, can you do it? Yes. Is it going to be easy? No. Not natively in high level.
Gotcha.
There's going to be several workflows that are all going to have to tie together. You're
Sure.
going to have to create some custom fields, some trigger links. Yeah, it'd be a process, but yeah, you could technically do it. It's just high level's not built to do that out of the box.
Okay.
I have done a number, which I know I mentioned Eventbrite, and I know like Eventbrite for this use case might be like a little funny, I guess you could say, but like functionally speaking, the all the bones are in place for that whole thing to work like super seamlessly, just because you can sync Eventbrite with high level. So it's like what we did was, someone came in through a high level funnel, we synced that registration basically with Eventbrite, added them to the list, all that stuff. And then when they show up at the event, which could be a class or whatever, but when they show up, like, on your mobile phone, you have the Eventbrite app, you could just scan their QR and it automatically just checks it in. And then you could fire off another webhook to high level afterwards that's like, hey, they checked in, so you could mark them as showed or whatever. It's just pretty easy. But it's still obviously non high level native to do that, but it does work and it works pretty good. So
they've got the check-in process down, like with check-ins and the tickets, and they've been doing that for a long time. So
that's an interesting idea.
From the customer standpoint, it's going to be a lot easier. For them to understand what's going on, what do they have, what do they don't have, what's the check-in process.
Yeah.
And if you want it to be set up like like if they bought a ticket to a class and they missed the class, there's things like that to consider too. Like, do you want them to be able to come back for another class, or like an event, right? You can treat it like an event where it's like, if the event's over, it's over, type of thing. You missed it type of thing, but you can do all sorts of things, but just those edge cases that are kind of funny to think about.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And can I ask you guys one more quick question?
Oh yeah, man, we're just hanging here for the next 45 minutes or whatever. So
get in all your questions while you can before we call on Rob.
The next one is for a brick and mortar store. Is there a way to capture contact information when you're doing a point of sale transaction? If I'm using like the Lead Connector mobile app and I'm doing a point of sale transaction, I also want to ideally capture, who I'm selling it to.
Most of those point of sale, so you have a few options. If let's say the store's not going to change, they're going to use whatever point of sale system they're using right now. And they don't want to change. At least most small businesses these days are using like, Square or Clover or, like you'll see some people like using like VeriSign equipment and all that for like more, mainstream shops and all that kind of stuff, which it's harder to integrate with those bigger systems. But if it's one of those newer point of sale apps like Clover or something like that, most of those guys like allow you to fire webhooks off, on sales and everything. And you can just drop that info straight into high level from there. Um, Now if it's like a new store and they're like trying to find like how can I actually charge people and stuff, like, and they're wanting one of those, like, let's say it's like food truck, they want to check people out right then and there, like technically you can actually use the lead connector app, to do like a bump pay type thing, which is pretty convenient if somebody like, doesn't have any of that infrastructure up yet. But if they already have some of the infrastructure up, I'd be looking to see if I could just grab a webhook payload from them, whenever a sale occurs. And if that's not possible, then you'd have to think of another creative way to get that info.
There's no infrastructure at the moment, so it's, I could use the lead connector app, but could you describe what's involved in like, in the webhook? Like how that would be implemented?
Are they wanting to use the point of sale from lead connector?
It's possible. Yeah.
Do they need like a cash drawer or like a like do they want people to be able to swipe their cards and stuff like that, or are they fine just like using their mobile phone?
They're old school, just doing, cash drawer right now. But they want to add,
Add credit cards?
yeah, credit cards.
So that the ability, so right now you could do credit cards. Here, probably this month, you'll have the ability to record cash payments, check payments within the POS system. Basically,
Okay.
what they'll, to make it, depending on how much business they're doing, it may not be the best. If they're wanting to take credit cards, they will need either an Android tablet that supports NFC, okay,
Yep.
or an iPad, and they'll have to get Stripe hardware, or they can just get the Stripe card reader. So this month they're going to be releasing in the POS the ability to record cash payments, which
Okay.
they'll need. And then if they get an Android tab, you definitely don't want to be doing this on a phone. Having a Android tablet that's NFC capable, so it can do touch to pay, or you'll have to get a card reader from Stripe,
Gotcha.
which you just pay a hardware fee. It's yours, you own it. They would own the piece of hardware. There's no lease
And
or rent associated with it.
I think Stripe even has little like kind of little POS setups with like you get the iPad, like you get a little stand, you get the credit card swiper and stuff.
They do.
They could
And you can base automations, workflows off of Stripe events. So,
Okay.
but now as far as in the POS side, you would use the mobile app on a tablet. In the POS side, there is a section where when you go to check someone out, they can add a customer right there and take
Right.
in whatever information they want to add, but they have to do it.
Right, but it's manual entry as far as you know, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's
Got
the
it.
only way it's gonna. It's the only way it's gonna be, unless they. I mean, are you selling like a service, or are you selling just the software?
No, like air conditioners.
The service.
Oh yeah. I'm selling the service. Yeah,
No, are you selling this as a software platform or as a service?
as a software platform.
Okay. So you could offer a service like a loyalty program.
Yeah.
So there's like loyalty programs that are baked into high level, and you could say, hey, scan this QR code, go ahead and sign up for this before you check out, and you can go ahead and get your first purchase on this loyalty program.
Got it. Okay.
That gives them incentive to give you all their information.
Yeah. Okay. Before they even show up.
Yeah. But this is
Yeah.
for an air conditioning company?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't worry about that then. You may. They're going to have the contact's information before they even arrive at the house. How is, I guess I don't see where the problem is. Maybe
It's just, it's selling, it's old school,
yeah.
Hey,
You know,
Joe, how
shop.
are you?
Great. How about you?
Good, good.
and
Yeah, I love the chat, man. You
yeah, it's just an old school shop and people come in and,
Yeah.
they'll buy something and walk out. But it's,
So they're already collecting that information manually. Promise you. They're either
Yeah.
writing it down on a piece of paper or putting it into the computer somewhere. They have to
Right.
for warranty.
yeah.
That's all
All
we
right.
have where I live is old school shops. I live out between a cow pasture and a cornfield. They still collect data.
Nice.
They still collect data. Oh man.
They do. I
That's
mean, they have to have a receipt and invoice. Otherwise, there's no way they could ever do a warranty claim for the customer. So
Right.
they
Makes
have the
sense.
customer's information. You just have to change where they're putting it in at. Or maybe not. If they're putting it into an Excel sheet or some other system that they keep track of, like all their data, I mean, they've got to have something. Even if it's on a pen and piece of paper, say, okay, we're going to stop doing this, and you're going to start using this touch screen.
Yeah.
All I
makes
need
sense.
is their name, phone number, and email, and address,
Yeah.
which they'll need for future stuff. You don't need it for what you're doing, but they'll need address.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, fellas. I appreciate it. And where do you live, by the way?
Tennessee,
Nice.
south of Nashville.
I'm
All right.
in Kansas
Thanks, guys.
City. Yeah, man.
Sweet.
Alrighty, Rob. You're up. What's up?
What's up,
And
guys?
that's the show.
No, we're just getting started. Yeah, so a couple things you guys just actually touched on. Like Charles, you mentioned there's a loyalty program baked into high level. I'm
No,
not, I guess
they-
I'm not familiar
People
with that.
bake it into high level.
Oh, okay. So they
Yeah.
set it up. Okay, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, I never saw anything like that. But okay, cool.
No.
In terms of the way coupons currently work, I've actually never played around with it, but I guess it only works right now for like, do they work in invoices and anytime you check out essentially, right? Other than a calendar links or whatever, the calendar workflow.
I don't know about invoices. Can you use coupon codes on invoices?
There's no coupon code available. So if there is a coupon code
I think you just
slot
give a discount.
on a payment method of any kind, then yes, you can use a coupon.
Since you have
But
to
I-
like generate invoices, like I think the idea, is like if you're gonna give someone a discount, like you put it in the discount area there. You
Right.
wouldn't like charge full price and then give them a coupon code.
Yeah, that makes sense from that perspective. And then you still can't do a coupon code on like a recurring subscription, right? On a subscription product.
yes, you can. That was fixed.
Oh,
And you
really?
can do a
Yep.
$0 offer.
Oh shit. When did they fix that? Was that recent?
Week or two ago.
Oh shit. Okay, this is why it's good asking you guys questions, man.
That's why it's good to go to town halls.
I mean, it's tough. I try to.
Problem with the
But I can
town
just
hall
come to
is you
you.
have to listen to a bunch of a
Nope.
bunch of opinions.
So they changed the format. They said first
Oh, they
30
did?
minutes, no questions. It is purely going through updates at least the first 30 minutes if it takes that long. And then after that, it's open Q&A. Yeah, and
Thank God.
they're holding true to it. So
Okay, good. I'll probably start coming again then. I just couldn't deal.
oh, trust me, I know.
Well,
I get it. I'm in every one of them, so trust me.
Cool. So now, if we want to do like a first month offer on our SaaS, right? We're able to do that in terms of like, let's say first month, 50% off, and you have a coupon code. Are we able to do that?
Yes, you would just make sure the box is unchecked for the payments coming after. So it would only be, if they're signing up for a subscription, it would only apply it to that first payment. It wouldn't apply to any others.
And we can set that up that way.
Correct.
All right, that's beautiful. That is like so huge. Awesome. All right, cool. And then for my actual questions.
Another part of that
Uh-huh.
is you can use payment links on SaaS products, and coupon codes are available in payment links. Just
Beautiful.
FYI. So
Yeah, I actually like payment links a lot better. I love that they introduced that. Kind of like the Stripe style. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So a couple quick ones here. So smart lists. I was just curious if you if you have a smart list and whatever criteria it is, let's say it's based on like tags, right? As more people get added with those tags, I assume the smart list automatically updates for those new people, right? As time goes on, it's just constantly like it's dynamic in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
otherwise,
Okay.
it wouldn't be too smart.
It'd be pretty
Yeah,
stupid.
it'd be
Yeah.
a dumb list.
Do you know if it's like completely, is it like immediate? Is it instantaneous?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Other question with regards to workflow. Can you basically like block a contact from entering a workflow, like ban them or blacklist them from a workflow? I don't know if that's a thing, but just
I mean, you could tag them with
Through
whatever.
tags.
Yeah.
Create a filter.
D&D them.
Yeah, D&D is like the ultimate block. But if you want
But
them
they
just
can still
blocked
go
from
into
one
a
workflow.
Yeah.
yeah, that'd
Even
be
with D&D, they can
communication.
still go into the workflow technically.
That's true.
You would
Yeah.
just have to create a filter, if else statement, and then if
they
they
have the
do
tag or
get
not.
triggered and they have that tag, then they get kicked off.
Gotcha.
Depending on the
Disposed of.
trigger, you could filter by the tag.
Filter them out
depending
from
on the-
even entering the workflow.
Yeah, but it would depend very highly on the trigger. It would have to be a contact-based trigger.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool if we could go into like a specific workflow and just say like this content cannot enter, but okay. Other question with regards to workflow. So when we like, for example, have workflows like in terms of the snapshot, how exactly do you hide those workflows so they can't see them? Because I know you can go into the sub account and I guess lock them, but how do you do that at scale? Like when you just load a snapshot when someone purchases and they have their account? Is it just done on like the master snapshot account? You hit load and then when it attaches to the SaaS configurator snapshot, it just automatically has them hidden? Does it work like that?
I think that's coming
Oh,
with the
man.
new. I think that's coming with the new snapshot update when they release that new
I
snapshot.
don't think right now the
update.
permissions come across when you load a snapshot in. You have to do it manually each time,
Yeah.
apparently.
I think that's coming with a update this quarter, though. I don't know when, but I think it'll be because they're reworking how snapshots work, basically to where you can break a snapshot into multiple pieces or you can snapshot an account and be able to select what you actually want to snapshot out of that account instead of snapshotting the whole thing. They're going to break it to where when you go to create a snapshot, you can select what you actually want to include in that snapshot. And I think they are rolling permissions into that because granular permissions are all coming out at the same time as this. So I'm 98% sure that that is a feature that is getting released with the new snapshot update.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, that'll be definitely helpful. So, yeah, so it's manual at the moment. Okay, cool. And last question is, do you guys have any recommended funnel builders?
High level.
You
What do you
mean
mean?
like people that build funnels?
Right.
Like resources?
Oh.
Like people that build funnels.
I heard these people over
Yeah.
at Pinnacle Teams was pretty good.
Oh yeah, you with your VA service, they can
Yeah.
build some funnels.
Yeah.
You
All right.
go.
Yeah, can you send me the info for that, Charles? Is there a website for that, or how exactly do you
It's in the chat.
You did
Just
that
go
quick.
to the chat.
Oh, you
And
should have seen him
get it
last
from the
week when he
chat.
signed up for the affiliate for whatever that service that Zack
Oh, yeah.
sent, bro. Literally, it was instantaneous.
Yeah. Where in like 2 seconds, I signed up for the affiliate program, had their link, and then had it in my partners list. Yeah.
That's what's
Cool.
up.
Those are all my questions. Appreciate you guys.
I haven't seen you in a while, Heidi. It's good to
I
see you.
know. Nice to be here.
Yeah, it's been a
The
minute.
time changed and my alarm goes off at a different time, so now I have to readjust.
Nice. Nice. Well,
Good to be here.
what are you working on these days? What you got going on?
Let me see. I did have a question, but I wasn't even thinking about it. I like all the new stuff that is coming out. Have you used any of the new stuff? Like I know, like now in workflows, you can branch it out. You can split test certain emails and give 3 different variations or something like that. Have you used that at all, either of you guys?
I have not yet used the split testing stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty excited about that and the dripping and workflows. Those were the two major things, like logic wise, that were missing in workflows for the last while, I feel like. So that's gonna be it's gonna be awesome. I feel like. Because we've
And
had to do all sorts of trickery to split things out in workflows. Like trying to randomize things and all of that. So it's actually kind of hard to manually build a split tester in high level, if you think about it. But
And how about the quizzes? Has anybody used the quizzes yet, or is that not? Oh yeah, just to
quizzes, no.
gamify. They
Quizzes
could
for
gamify. They were gamifying Go High Level. They were
Isn't
adding
that
game.
for
I
like
don't know.
memberships?
you
I
lost me.
think that was in like communities or memberships, right?
They
Thought I heard.
gamified communities based
Yeah.
off engagement. And then they've had quizzes.
Yeah, quiz.
And
Yeah, not
homework.
quizzes. Yeah, it's the gamification.
Oh yeah, that's. I think it's still in labs. I think you still have to turn it on for communities, but yes, it is there, and it works. They made some changes shortly after releasing it in labs. Just some UI improvements, but I mean, I've got clients using communities, and so far they like it. So you can add prizes if you want. You can customize the names of the levels. It's nothing too crazy, but I mean, it started it, so I mean, at least there's something there.
Right.
So.
Who remind me, Heidi, who's your SaaS audience, or are you doing SaaS or more SWAS, or what's your setup?
No, what I'm doing is building for other people. So I'm building, they're out there funnels and whatever they need. So
Oh,
it's fun.
nice.
It's fun. I like doing it. I learn a lot because if there's anything I'm stuck in, I'll come in here, ask you, or I'll research it and find different stuff, little tricks so I would learn the best that way,
Nice.
I think. Instead of just trying to keep up with everything, I'll find something different that I want to do with it and then research it and add it in.
So I'm curious as to, since that's what you do, you're not running an agency, you're running the service, like you're serving agencies, helping agencies, or people with high level accounts.
Right.
Have you gotten
many people have done
into
that.
your certifications with high level, like
Um,
admin certification or?
Have you taken that? I'm really toying with that. I really, that was,
I
that was,
haven't, but I have no need for it because I'm an agency. So
yeah, but you
what am I
already
gonna
know all this stuff too.
Well, I mean, what am I going to do? Certified that I'm a high level expert that
Yeah.
sells Pinnacle?
We
There's no
we've had
upside
2
to it
people
for me.
do it.
Yeah,
I know Stephanie's done it, and
definitely. Yeah. She was like,
Yeah.
I did her,
Yeah,
her
Stephanie,
vision here.
I think Stephanie, Sharon, and Shaw have all done it. And
Okay.
they all talked like it was I mean, all 3 of them know high level like the back of their hand as well. So I don't know if there was like anything necessarily like unexpected in there, like they knew it, but they said the setup was pretty great. Like the proctored test is cool and everything. And if you are doing high level services, there is a small number of people in there that are currently certified. So I feel like, you know, there's probably some traffic,
Okay.
probably a little bit of traffic that would come. You could tout it around a little, be like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm high level certified.
well, and I think it's a differentiator. I mean,
Yes.
for like Heidi's standpoint, I mean, do I hire her or do I hire someone else? If she has that
Right.
badge from high level, then that may be very well my
Yeah.
deciding factor.
And it's so.
I have one.
What's that?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I had a follow-up question to spin off what Charles is asking. So, because I've been thinking about this with like the Extendly customer base in general, but like, so your avatar, like being someone that's like serving other agencies, like what is it in the Extendly ecosystem for you that like makes you uh like wanna hang around, like, and like what are we giving to you with what you do that's like useful to you currently?
Oh my God. Just the little things you bring to us, the tips and the tricks. And it's like, amazing. Yes. No, you really have an amazing grasp on all of this. I wanted to really dig deeper into the AI, because
Yeah.
I know you. But
So
everything I'm looking at, they're saying, get an outside program, which I don't want to.
so if
Yeah.
in a hypothetical world, like if Extendly was gonna build more resources for you, like what would that look like? Like how could, does that look like products that you can sell to other agencies? Does it look like services? Does it look like how do I go, how does Extendly go deeper with like, in the builder community, I guess I could say, you know what I mean?
Well, Stephanie's class was amazing. That's how I got into here.
So
It's taking
so education,
Stephanie's
more
certification.
education.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
she's
gotcha.
yeah. But these groups give a lot, and then even the questions that people ask, that's like, wow.
Ew, that makes sense.
Mhm.
That's
When I was
great.
researching something, I'll instead of having to test out all of the funnels all the time, you can put like a wait 100, like 100 days, and then put a couple of them so it just goes through like a little bit at a time, and so you can see, and then you can move it somewhere down below that you want to test and not have to do the entire thing every time. And that was just a little tip I picked up from, because I was looking for something else, but it was very
Yeah.
handy. So if I just missed a step, I didn't have to redo the entire test on the entire workflow again. I could just test that one little step.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, the AI is going to be interesting. You'll hear me talk more about AI here coming up here, Heidi, I think.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
running lots of tests. So,
And is there any resource in particular that you suggest I go to, or just is there? I know there's just not a lot as much out there on it than there is on everything else.
yeah, I mean, all that stuff is in motion right now, like in such a
Yeah.
serious way. Honestly, like I feel like anything you learn to use right now, like the high level is just going to change it like next week anyways. Um, so it's kind of one of those, I mean, if you want to get the best way to understand it right now, because the documentation is kind of especially the workflow AI is like the way it's set up right now is a little confusing. Um, when I looked at it initially, I was like, and I'm pretty deep in all the AI stuff, and I was like, this I have no idea what they're trying to go for here. This is confusing the hell out of me. And so I had to just use it. Like I ran a bunch of tests because I was like, what does this do? What does this do? Like um, so, but that's the advantage. I mean, I guess like you helping high level agencies, like if you're ahead of the curve a little bit, like knowing how to
Yeah.
get around high levels nonsense with the way it's structured right now, like it can be a leg up because um kind of what I see happening right now at least is people are basically testing using high levels kind of out of the box AI, not the workflow AI, but just the turning it on channel wide. They're typically getting like kind of some funky results, and then they're like, they turn it off, and then they look for a third party bot
Yeah.
building platform, like Zappy Chat or like Closebot or something like that. Um, and so, but they oftentimes don't know that um, there's actually quite a bit you could do in the workflow AI. It's just you have to steer around high levels, like usability issues. But
Like what? Well,
I
give us some tips.
okay. Yeah, no problem. Let me show you. I'll just show you. I'll show and tell.
All right.
Um, let me pull up my account.
And I'll just say, I think it comes down to the actual use case. So, like,
Mhm.
we've used conversational AI and haven't had a single problem out of it. Although I run a pretty straightforward business, and I don't try to micromanage artificial intelligence, which is where I feel a lot of people like they want artificial intelligence, but then they want to control every little thing it does. And it's like, okay, well, you can't have both worlds. Doesn't exist. So
I just like noticed just now that like the loading icon for high level just changed.
Hey, Susanna.
Hey,
How are you?
Joe's
Joe.
a busy man. Joe's a busy
I'm
man.
under
Let
the
me tell
gun
you.
with a call also.
Who's Susanna?
Fucking socialite.
Can't get high level load. Hold on a second. It's just stuck. This is weird. I've never seen
Mine
this
has
loading
been
icon.
really slow lately.
Mine
I
has-
don't. Yours too?
Uh-huh. Or it'll just spin and spin and spin. Then I have to go to another browser, and sometimes it works better. After I
Ah.
clear, obviously clearing the cookies and stuff helps too.
How often does high level kind of go down for everybody, And like I guess this is a Charles question. Like, have there been times where high level went down where you had a bunch of your clients like just pissed and throwing a bunch
I've
of
been
support
with them
tickets?
for 5 years, and I've never, one time it went down and it was up within the day.
They go down less than AT&T.
Yeah. It might get
Anything goes
slower
down
when
less
they
than
have
TNT.
like updates, but I don't think they go down very often.
What in the world is going on?
Uh-huh.
It's killing me. Dude, what is up with people? There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Let me see. See if I can, just gonna close my browser. Show you guys what it's doing. I've never seen this. This is weird.
I'll share my screen and you can take control of my screen. I got a dummy account open. Oh, that's not, yeah, no, that's not right.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Watch.
Zach, Zach, did you
What
pay
is
your
that?
bill?
I've never seen that.
Oh yeah,
Mine's
that
not-
is new.
Mine's
Never
not
seen-
doing that.
Too many
It's usually
complaints
the-
of the spinning wheel of death. They
I
switched it
bet
up.
I bet I know what that is.
What?
Ooh,
I
look
bet
at
that's
it.
I
DNA.
bet that's the customizer coming out.
Mm.
They're testing it on.
Dude.
Bet that's it.
Mhm.
All right. Let me, yeah, I bet you're right. I would not be surprised. Oh.
It is after 5. They do something.
Not
Do you want
everywhere.
to,
Not
Yeah.
ever. You're right. You're right.
Here.
Not in Dallas
I-
either.
It's all good. I got my other account. I was just wanting to do the live one, but it's fine. It's fine. All right. I think I'm gonna do, doesn't really matter, but alrighty. Okay, so a couple things. So this is what you see first, and you have this whole question. So you know, mouse over it. This is the question that will be asked by the bot, and based on the reply to this question, the next branch will be decided. And so for me, you know, when I looked at this, I was like, what? Like what in the world? And what are the branches, you know? Like and after connecting with high levels the product managers that are working on the AI, because we went back and forth and I got them to give me some of the like JSON payloads from the bot and everything. And I came to find out that essentially I don't know if anybody here is familiar with OpenAI's structure, but the branches are using something they're using one of OpenAI's features called functions. So if you look up OpenAI functions, you can kind of function calling like, and this is pretty nerdy, but you can read through it and kind of get an idea of what's happening. But essentially what high level is asking for with the way that they have this set up is, you know, if you put a question in here like let's say, do you want to book an appointment? The thing that is the thing that's a little bit challenging about this is, so I'll just save it real quick so you could see, but when I put this in, so every time like a contact hits this conversation AI action, it's gonna ask this question. It has to ask the question. And normally, you know, like you want to be able to pass like a conversation thread into AI to start, and give it like a system level prompt that is like what the question is, so that it can reconcile the conversation thread to the objectives essentially. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a system level prompt, but it should have an initial set of objectives and then reconcile against those objectives. And normally that's how you function call, is you can branch off based on what's happening there. But the problem is here with the question and if you try to leave this blank and save it, like it'll tell you, oh, you need a question. So you have to set this up in a way to where you like just realize, like if you're using more than one of these in a workflow, that every time you hand off between like other conversation AI actions, it's always going to give some kind of variation of this question, which is just a little bit of a constraint because you have to be careful about like when you're passing off between other workflow AI actions. Because obviously, like if it starts kind of like basically a new conversation with this question in the wrong place in the conversation, then it's going to seem like really weird, you know? So that was the first kind of major hurdle that I had to get around and like figure out. Then you also turn on like advanced bot configuration. And this was also confusing to me because so high level has this like this info already typed out for you to kind of give you an idea of like what you're supposed to put in these boxes. So I see this one that says personality. And so I'm like, okay, so I see up here like a little bit of info about the personality. Things are so far making sense to me. I'm like, okay, they're just breaking out a part of the prompt so that you can add personality to it. But then you scroll down and it's like, okay, wait a second. Now I'm seeing objectives in here. So now I have objectives in the personality box, which that doesn't make any sense. And that's an example of one of those like weird things right now with the way the UI's kind of set up. It's like, okay, well, the way they have the prompting set up does like require that you kind of add the objectives to the personality box, which is just
That is
weird.
weird.
But and then you have additional instructions, and then down here they're putting conversation rules. And then right here, ask the question if not answered already. If the question is answered, ask the prospect to expand on it. And so this was this was also confusing to me because like normally these types of instructions you would frame in your objectives. So like you would have objectives of that you're trying to hit, and then you would like frame the, you know, like if this happens then do this, if this happens then do that. But they have this broken off into this like additional instructions. And then when I highlight over additional instructions, it says define goals, intents, and additional instructions. So they tell you to define the goals down here. Meanwhile, the example that they're giving you up here has the goals in the personality. So anyway, that's why I just like the first time I used this, I was like, oh, like it's like, oh my goodness. And but you know, after like working through it all, like what I ended up doing was just putting the objectives for the bot and the personality, and then like the rules for the conversation and additional instruction, including like the tone and the personality. So I didn't put anything about personality and personality. I kind of put it down in the additional instructions. And then I made sure that the question that was being asked never was like off-putting for where they were in the conversation, if that makes sense, because I knew it was going to force prompt that like question. And if you can get over those obstacles, you can make something that works with the current kind of setup. It's just a little frustrating to get through. So
And you're saying they're going to be most likely changing this in the near future?
yeah, I think so. I think they're having like a how do I say it? I get the feeling that they're having like a bit of a like philosophical debate internally around like how much freedom they should allow people to have on this. I've just told them like, if you're using out of the box conversation AI, like make it really easy for people. Like reduce the complexity, but when you get into the workflows, give them the maximum amount of flexibility, like just raw prompts. I told them like if I want to have a bot that has a conversation about playing chess, like I should be able to do that. The agents, you should be able to build whatever they want with the bots. But the way they have it pre-prompted right now, it kind of like forces it to have conversations about products and services and things like that. So you start trying to go too far out of bounds and it's like it gets weirder and weirder. So I just told them like, those of us that have been using AI and especially using bot builders, like we kind of know what we're doing. Like your guys's like UI layer on top is making it more confusing. So I would just drop it and go back to letting people kind of like totally control what they're doing. And so I could tell they liked it, but there was like, I don't know, like whenever you're raw prompting, and you don't have guardrails, like you can have some weird stuff happen with AI. So I think they're a little nervous about giving people like like the total autonomy to do whatever they want with their bots. But anyway, yes, I think they're going to be changing it one way or the other. They're either going to be making it simple and make more sense, or they're going to be making, giving more freedom out, but we'll see kind of what happens.
And once they do that, then that's where you guys are probably going to make a product around it, like whether it be modules or something like that, right?
I think we'll probably make a product around it before even that, before it becomes like simple for people to use, just because the alternative for people right now is like using third-party bot builders. And speaking for myself at least, I just think that even if you can get the bots to work really well, like it's kind of like a another barrier to entry, because now you have like integrations going with third-party platforms, and then you try to do that like across all your sub accounts, and like things break, and it's just like the more you can keep it inside high level, like the better. Um, so
Do you
yeah, I think
think you can set up like let's say it's ideal, right? Or like let's say we have modules that you guys are going to release in terms of products. Do you think it could be set up in a general enough way where it won't need as much tweaking like per sub account? Like if you just kind of put in a module for, an AI bot, like for sales in general, do you think that would actually be a viable solution where it'll be just out of the box that we can put into a sub account and then, a business can use it? Or would we actually need to go in and do some tweaking to make it functional?
no, I think that I mean, and that's another thing is like, I mean, what's awesome about keeping it inside high level, is you get to like lean on the back of the existing ecosystem with respect to using custom values and stuff like that. So, just like we do with snapshots, like in theory, like the prompting, let's say you have a sales bot or something, like the prompting stays pretty consistent, but you can custom value some of the core things in the prompts, and then have, that stuff added. I mean, the biggest barrier, and this is what kind of like might put you into SWAS land instead of SaaS land, is the KB side of the equation. Um, Meaning, like the AI is only as intelligent as like the information that it has sitting in the knowledge base. So you got some knowledge base templates and stuff. This is what we've been thinking about doing, deploying knowledge base templates with the snapshot, which is just like Google Doc templates kind of like to fill out information and all of that. So, it's pretty lightweight to scrape their websites, and High Level has that URL scraper up and running that does a pretty decent job. It's just, depending on what industry you're in, like go to like the plumbing industry and try to go look at like a bunch of their websites, and like you'll notice that there's just, you know, not a rich repository of information to scrape in most cases. So that's where, if anything, there'd probably be some manual work, is just getting the right knowledge into the knowledge base so that the AI could be smart. But
And with the
Other than
knowledge
that, should
base
be
too, also like if you don't have conversation AI enabled as a feature, but you want to use, the conversation AI workflow, I guess, how do you actually use the knowledge base in that sense? Is there like an option in the workflow for it?
All
no,
right,
and
so if
this
you
is another thing that they don't explain anywhere or state anywhere. At least I haven't seen them stated anywhere. But the product managers told me this, then I had to test it myself to make sure it was true. But like they told me, they're like, yeah, the conversation AI and workflows uses the knowledge base. And I was like, oh, like I didn't know that. Like there's, it doesn't say that anywhere or anything. So I was like, so you're telling me the knowledge base that we build in settings, that the kind of out of the box channel wide conversation AI uses, like that's also made available in the workflows. And they were like, yeah. So
Hmm.
the workflows can utilize it. One of the features we kind of put on their radar was like allowing you to select, which knowledge base content you want to use in the workflows, like on each conversation AI action. That would be huge, because there's some information that you don't want the AI to have. Maybe you want one of the other AI agents to have it though.
Right.
If you're going to really build like a multi-agent system, then you need to be able to also control what knowledge the agents have access to. But currently, it's just anything you put anywhere in the knowledge base, they all have access to it.
Yeah, they definitely need some more development there. It's not there yet, like from what I can see, I guess.
Yeah, it's not there yet, but you guys are on the cutting edge. You know what I mean? It's like by
Mhm.
the time it's there, like 100 other agencies are going to be using it. So,
That's true.
that's the thing. You gotta like right before the second, I'm telling you, the second it is there, like everybody is just gonna lose their minds. Like in the community, I think like this year it's gonna be probably like the biggest conversation happening. I don't know. That's just depending on if they can actually, execute on it, but and get it done and over the line this year. But I could see by level up, it's like AI is the I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the hype burns out, but I really doubt it. I think it's just in the very beginning.
No, for sure.
I do too. But I think that's the best place to utilize your time. I mean, once they get it all worked out, but I think that's gonna be the biggest differentiator.
On
Oh, you're muted, Zach.
Don't
Can't
hear
hear
you.
you.
LSA,
Okay,
there's
there
like
you
hardly any platforms out there that integrate with Google LSA, and it's like the fact that high level does that is huge. It's like one of those like kind of hidden nuggets. But I feel the same way, even though this like workflow AI, like the UI is currently kind of garbage, the fact that they have the function calls built in right now from a technical perspective is pretty huge, because when you start thinking about what you can actually do with that with the AI, so because think about everything else you can do in high level between like moving them between workflows and tagging them and doing everything that we do. And now we can have the AI listening to the conversation and branching them out automatically based on what's happening in that conversation and then running all the logic that we already run. I mean, that's gonna just be, I don't know. I'm just waiting to see like the most wild stuff that people build, using those branches. And I was testing the branches, and actually, as it stands right now, they're working pretty well. They're so far they're pretty accurate. As long as you stay within the bounds, of kind of the prompting. So
you were cut off. You were muted. The first part that you said, I don't know if you'll be able to think back, but we missed that part.
the first part with the
And
branches.
then you start to say Google LSA. So it was whatever you said before that.
I was just saying there's these hidden nuggets in high level that you kind of like are, I guess, rare. Like there's not a ton of platforms that Google has allowed to have the um like kind of service API layer connection that high level has to Google LSA. Um high level is like one of the first. There might be more now that there's been some adoption like over the last, but let's say last fall when I looked, like at that time, high level was like one of 3 or something, like companies that had been given like that level of access. I think it's probably like a lot more now, but that's just an example of these like little nuggets, where there's a big kind of competitive advantage and you're sort of unaware of it. And the function calls being in the workflow AI right now is kind of like that. It's like a huge competitive advantage because there's not a ton of even bot building platforms that are currently using function calling. So
One thing I will say is don't think that it's not a solution right now.
Okay.
A lot of times as builders, we tend to overcomplicate the problem and try to create this massive solution that for a problem that actually never existed except in our own minds. Take whatever problem the business owner is facing and simplify it to its simplest version, and you can probably still provide a solution, although it may not be at the point you want it to be at. You'd be surprised. We have a lot of sub accounts using just conversation AI out of the box, and they're all happy with it.
So you don't think any of these outside programs?
My clients don't have a need for it, but I don't overcomplicate their problem. Do you want it to ask if they want to schedule an appointment? Yes, great. Turn it on. Like, just don't try to control it. It's AI. Give it your website, give it some pricing, maybe some names of products or services that you offer, and then go into the training, ask your friends and family, say, hey, shoot me an email with like 20 questions that if you could ask me anything about my business, shoot me 20 questions in an email that you would ask. And most of their friends won't even know what the heck their business is anyway. So they'll be a great example of questions. So, and then you just go into the bot trial, do the Q&A, and then you're good. Sorry.
It's okay. Do you know if there is a workaround for, so I work with salons and med spas, and they all are working with their own booking software, and I'm not even trying to bite that off. But we're trying to work with their link to book. And it's, I used to be with Vendasta many, many years ago, and I just saw their update where they're able to do that. But because of the native high-level calendar features, the AI bot is either A, when it's toggled off, we can't book an appointment, you need to call them. Or if it's toggled on, it sends them to a calendar link that doesn't really exist because it was just preloaded. So I'm trying to figure out a way where basically that's all we want to ask it. Do you want to make an appointment? Yes or no? If you do, are you new or return? And if they're new, they'll go through the high level survey that we put them to. But if they're returning, then we want to send them off to another, platform with the link. Have anybody heard anything about being able to that workaround?
You would have to do it in workflows right now. You wouldn't be able to do that in conversation AI. Yeah.
Okay.
But they are supposed to, I haven't heard a deadline, but they are supposed to be opening more control into conversational AI, but I haven't heard an exact, like, hey, it's going to be released this quarter. I know it's just something that they're working on. When it's going to come out, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting it into the bottom or the first thing they ask, but I'm going to work on it. I know some other people have figured it out with those features, but
workflow AI is the only way you're going to be able to pull that off, because that's where you're going to basically, you're going to be able to steer it like Zack was talking about. Hey, if this condition is met, then I need them to go over to this workflow and deal with this agent. If it's not met, then they can stay in this one and we'll handle them here. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I did it based on some like triggers of customer replied using some keywords. So if they said make appointment or cancel appointment or reschedule, I have that working for them in that manner of the workaround, but not in the conversations like you said.
Yeah.
I just wish you could use the inbound greetings across different platforms and have it transition to AI, like the standard conversation AI. rather than it conflicting. That's the only thing I wish you could do
Say
without
that
having to
again?
use workflow AI. So like if, for example, the Extendly like module for inbound greetings, I wish
Yeah.
it could transition from that, right? So they initially receive a greeting and then the conversation AI bot, just the standard one, picks
You
up from
can.
there.
You
How?
can.
Because like as soon as they reply, the conversation AI would also try and
That's where I'm saying you just have to get.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you're talking about workflows or out of the box, but that's
yeah.
where you have to
out of the box.
strategically figure out how to get that question in at the right spot. Because yeah, to your point, let's say you send them out a message. It's like, hey, how are you? And then they're like, I'm good. And then the message back is, want to book an appointment? Or something like that. It's like just needs to be in the right spot. Where you trigger it off, or the question needs to be the right question too. So you could make the question "How are you?" instead. But the problem with that is that they have the objectives are supposed to like reconcile themselves to the question. So like the question has to fit in the right spot in the sentence, but it also has to like the objectives need to roll up to the questions, at least for the function branches to work out. If that makes sense.
The people that we have using conversational AI just turn the autoresponders off. There's no point in having both. If you're running full automated conversation, why do you need an autoresponder?
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's the way I'm structuring my offer is that it's just included and they don't have access to adjust that for like my mid
So all you
tiers.
would need to do, all you would need to do is go into those particular workflows. You wouldn't necessarily have to. You could leave them on if you wanted to for the tagging feature. So if you're like, I still wanted to tag them, I just don't need it to send that. Just put a remove from workflow step, remove from current workflow at the top of it. And that way it's still creating the opportunity. It's still firing off other automations, but then it's not interfering with conversation AI.
Right.
Because once it sends that first message, that's what's going to put conversation AI to sleep for however long you set it to go to sleep for, based in your settings.
Yeah.
Because that's like what I did with the SaaS in the box snapshot. The stuff that I didn't want, like the free trials and 14 extended day trials, I didn't want to offer any of that. So instead of going in there and modifying a crap ton of multiple workflows, I just went into the point where I didn't want it to use that part and just put in a remove from workflow. It didn't matter what else was in there because they're not going to see the rest of it. But that way, if I ever wanted to go back, all I had to do was take out that one step.
That's a good point, actually.
What else you guys got? Anything else?
I know Rowan had an issue with the workflow firing. We think we found the problem. We're just not sure. Well, found what the problem is. Now he's digging in to see if he can see what caused the problem. So tags got removed on some contacts for holiday emails, and so it didn't fire them off. So we've backtracked to that point. So in the chat while you're talking about conversation AI. So
If if you guys aren't if you aren't able to figure out what the root cause was, that's one of those ones. I would probably have you get in touch with Michael Pacito like on Facebook or something. Because they just released that 2.3
he's on
and I know
2.3.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
know because I was just reading through your guys' combo real quick on there, and so if there is an issue in 2.3, like still a bug or something like that, then he'd want to know and could probably help you out. But hopefully there's not any issues. I know they QA'd it pretty heavy, so
What classes are going on now? I know Monday with you, Zach. What other ones are happening during the week? Because it used to be 5 a week, but I know it's changed.
Yeah, there's just 3 a week right now. Mondays with me, Wednesdays with Steph, and Fridays Zach, I think Zach and Michael maybe have been doing like a snapshot kind of specific one.
And it's changed an hour later, right? All of them are 1 hour later than they used to be.
No,
Yes.
they're at different oh, are they all?
Yep. Yeah.
I know
all
mine's
three are at
from
the same time.
an hour later.
Yeah, all
Oh,
three
they
are
are?
at the same time on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wednesday is just a broadcast, basically. There's no Q&A, no nothing. It's just Stephanie talking
yeah.
about announcements, and that's it. And she does a broadcast and then shuts it down. So it usually lasts about 10-15 minutes. Zach
Yeah, I
and
thought
Zach.
that was a Q&A. I thought maybe I just hit that one but
Nope.
it's always broadcast. Got it.
It's just a broadcast. I mean, you can jump in the Zoom, but every time I've been, it's been no Q&A, no nothing. It's just a broadcast. So
Yeah.
of new updates and feature releases from High Level. And then if you are on the agency, the top tier plan, if you are doing extendly support on the, was it the $5.99 plan, whatever it is, 10 or more clients, I believe, or unlimited clients. I'll have to double check. But if you go to the pricing page, you'll see you get a 3-month scholarship to Agency Alliance, and those calls are on Tuesday and Thursday, which is SaaS training and agency training. Scale your SaaS, scale your agency. So,
What you've been doing, haven't you been doing some
I do the
coaching or
SaaS
something
scale.
with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
so I'm the SaaS scale coach. Yeah.
Nice.
And then James does the agency.
James Hurst.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Great.
And the
guy.
one on Friday, you said it was about a snapshot building. Do they just build a snapshot of at random, or people suggest one, or?
It's been Q&A.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Updates. Q&A.
Cool. I'm about to head out, guys, but good seeing you. See you next week.
All
Hey,
right,
man.
Rob.
And next week, are we going to do more AI, or is that coming up in the distant future?
I don't even know. I've just been showing up to help everybody with whatever they have going on. And then if I have some nuggets, I'll try to bring them to you guys too. But I do think that probably as I make some AI changes over the next few weeks, I'll let you guys test them if you want to, and give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. I could show you what I've done. Now I just need to get them to fix the theme switcher so I can get back into high level here. But
One thing I
thank
came
goodness.
across that I had a problem with, and I didn't realize it was a problem, but when I had something tagged like initials for a state, like IN, I didn't realize anything with the letters IN in a row, it would trigger those workflows. And it was a brand new workflow, thank God. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have caught it. And then I went back and it said, your tag contains. So I couldn't make one that, your tag is exactly. So I now I'm more careful, because I don't want to have like a tag be a subset of another tag, because then I can't predict what's gonna trigger it. And it was because it was IN, for Indiana, that I was having a workflow trigger off of, and anything that had IN, like ING in the tag name, would pull it, and it wasn't working.
Are you sure
Is
that
that-
wasn't a custom field and not a tag? Because
Um,
normally with tags, like when you do, normally the filter parameters are tags includes, and normally contains is used on custom fields, because then you can search for like certain characters in a custom field. But if you use tags, I'll put it this way,
Yeah.
I've never seen an instance where it like clipped out just a part of a tag.
well, no, my tag was IN. So if I had another tag and I wanted it to be triggered by, or maybe in the workflow to be triggered by a tag that contains, because that was the verbiage, IN. So any tag that had the 2 consecutive letters IN could trigger it off. And I never knew that. I never realized that. I never knew you can't have a subset. And it only because it was IN did it, and it was a new workflow that I could find it.
One
And then
rule of thumb that we always, and this will probably help with this. So one rule of thumb that I've always followed, and I learned this the hard way and got told a long time ago. When building out CRM, especially customer data assets like tags, anything, you should be able to export it to a CSV, take it to someone that has no clue what any of the data means, and based off of the table headers, they should understand what each thing means. And if they can't, you're not doing it right. So like initials, nobody would ever know what that context, it's not 100% defined, because think about how many, I mean, this goes to education level of the United States, but think about how many people don't know the abbreviation of a state.
Oh.
Always try to keep data to like a 5th or 8th grade level.
Mm-hmm.
And that
And when
way,
they gave it to me, it didn't make me feel comfortable. I'm like, I would never make this, but I'm like, oh, I guess there's no reason I can't. But no, I do like that though. That makes
just
sense.
highly advise them, say, look, just in the off chance that you get someone new in here and they don't know, the thought process, they should be able to go in and be able to determine exactly what all of it means simply.
Yeah, I like that.
Just so you can see too, so like these are the 2 contact tag triggers, like most commonly that you would use, obviously, which is the contact tag and then filtering for added. And if you go to filter, like you cannot filter for like contains, and then same with contact changed, tags, added
Yeah,
or
it would be
removed.
if
And
else. Because I would have them all come in, and then the if else would break it down into I would have them all come in, like all the 5 different states with initials, and then I would do a couple actions, and then I would do if else, so I can now break them out. And that's where it contains.
were you doing by workflow trigger is? Or were you doing by contact details and then like tags? Because even here you only have includes, you don't have contains,
Includes.
and then
Right. So includes, and if it includes IN, anything that had ING in
no,
it.
You have to select
this
the
would
tag.
be this would be includes like the tags, not like a part of a tag.
Okay, so it was contains then, whichever one does the contains. Maybe it was the workflow triggers. I don't know. I thought it was tags. I thought it was the tags, because I ended up changing them, and I put state is instead. Like that kind of works along with what you said, Charles. That makes sense. Somebody could figure it out.
So if we do a custom field,
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's custom field, because they have their vendors putting it in. Yeah, I don't think it was, but.
so this is where you can do contains. So if you did so if you had something that was like, helping, and then you just included like ing in here, then yes, that will, it will move forward with this branch in the event that it is able to find ing, like in the word helping. But all of the tag filters that I've seen are not contains, they're includes. But if you find one that is contains on tags, send me a screenshot because I want to know.
Okay. Yeah, I ended up renaming everything to state is, but yeah, I'll go back and see where it is. And thank God it was a new one because I don't know that I would have found it.
Cool. All right, well. Any other questions before I shut it down?
I know you had one question that wanted to wait
Who was that?
for. I think let's go back up. Oh, I think she left. Michelle.
Fully booked AI. Oh, gotcha. Alrighty.
All right.
Well, I'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
Take care. Don't have too much fun.
Alrighty.
Hey, if you
See you guys.
you and Beyond race each other, I want to video and see who wins.
Race each other
I
doing
know,
what?
dude.
I might even start a bidding pool.
Both Bant and I on our strength finders, because I've been having everybody do strength finders. We both have like high on the competition scale. So when he sent me that,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, ooh. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, it's on, bro. We're gonna get it.
Yep. I might
So
start a
what
bidding
is
pool on
the what
that.
is the contest of? Who does
Go-kart racing.
what?
Go-kart racing.
Got it. Okay.
You
Yeah,
know,
dude, we have a spot here
grown
in
men
Kansas
doing
City
kid
that,
stuff.
dude, we I think they closed down maybe, but we have this spot here in Kansas City. It's called Saddlers Indoor Racing. And growing up, because my dad used to own a commercial snow removal company. And anyways, we would invite all of our subcontractors out once a year for this like big race. And they all took it like super serious, you know. We had prizes and everything. And so my dad would let all of us race, you know, against all these grown men, you know, but these were like, you know, real racing go-karts, you know what I mean, with like the slick tires. And I mean, you could get going real fast on these courses, you know, sliding everywhere. You know, had to boot a couple people off the course for. Yeah, exactly, dude.
My.
That's
They
at
should have
Saddler.
a picture of the top.
Yeah, and they have, you know, they have the TVs up with the times and stuff, as well, you know, so like it was pretty crazy, you know, you'd be like milliseconds ahead of somebody else or whatever, like on the track. So some of the top people always won by like under a second, you know. It was crazy.
Wow. Well, thank you
My
guys.
brother always beat me. It pissed me off. Yeah, thank you too. No, my younger
Yeah.
brother.
Is that the fence company guy?
No, the one in between. He's my youngest brother. I got one more in between me and him, and he's always been in the cars and all that stuff. And so he knew exactly like where to go on the track, you know, to optimize his time. And he'd always beat me. Just pissed me off every time. But
All right.
see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Want to learn Go High Level in a structured format? Check out the GHLacademy.com by Extendly. We guarantee to save you 6 months of wasted subscription costs for High Level. Just visit the GHLacademy.com.